There is a saying known as the Chinese curse, "May you live in interesting times." Its origins are hazy, and not rooted in ancient Chinese wisdom, but it gets repeated in times of turbulence. Robert Kennedy famously used it in a speech to students in Cape Town in 1966, when he called on them to find common qualities of conscience and indignation to wipe away the unnecessary sufferings of our fellow human beings at home and around the world. And here we are again, in interesting times, rediscovering our consciences and indignation. From the sea of pussy hats that descended on Whitehall for the Women's March in January to the public figures felled by Hashmetu, this has been a year of protest. Grassroots movements took on the establishment in a surprise general election, driving an even more surprising result. Across the country, more and more of us decided that this was the year we would take a stand. For Eddie Thornton, 34, things changed just before Christmas 2016. Originally from North Yorkshire, he had been living in a French monastery, doing some filming work, when he heard that the local community had lost their High Court appeal to prevent fracking on the edge of Kirby Misberto. I asked permission from the monks to leave, came back home and became part of a group who took possession of a disused field on a strategic site. We hoped it would become a symbol of resistance for the local community. That site evolved into the Kirby Misberto Protection Camp, located about 2 miles from fracking company Third Energy's well, next to the main access road for lorries. Thornton and his fellow activists had their Christmas dinner on site last year, donated by locals and eaten by candlelight, and he has spent the whole of 2017 living on site. I've got a nice bell tent now with a wood stove in it, so don't feel too sorry for me. The decision to drop everything and be part of the protest was an absolute no-brainer, he says. I'm lucky not to have a mortgage or a family at this point. And I've got family nearby, so I have an escape when I need it. His parents live about 2 miles away. We call ourselves a family of accidental activists. My dad has been campaigning in different ways, equally hard. My mum is a retired nurse and she helps a lot with the organization of the camp. Their house has turned into a welfare place for activists when they need support. The camp began with a handful of residents, and grew slowly at first. The activists' focus was on local outreach, speaking at town hall events, holding public meetings and training sessions to help the community understand their rights. In September that focus changed to direct action, setting up a community blockade of the gates. The protest has attracted a lot of attention, not least because of the demographic of the campaigners. A significant number are retired, middle-class, conservative voters, Jerry activists, as one article put it. I think for a lot of them this issue has been a revelation, Thornton says. They feel let down by the people they have supported all their lives, and there's a lot of anger. A media narrative has formed around the divide between old and young in the UK, the selfish baby boomers trying to preserve the status quo and the idealistic, disruptive millennials seeking change.